We've just come to an end of another financial year, ending in June 2014, and it's been a challenging year. In particular, the fourth quarter was very challenging, and with the strikes and the elections and so forth. And imports and export international trade generally really dived during that period, and that is where we make our money. The more transactions there are, the more imports and exports there are, the more we gain. Of course, sometimes when things are down, we also gain because shipments get smaller, and our income is directly dependent on the number of imports, not the volume or the tonnage, but rather the number of transactions. And so sometimes during bad economic times, the transactions actually increase. Now, as a result of that, we've managed to increase our turnover by 8%, up to 72 million rand. And because our business is the kind that most of the overheads are not transaction-based, when we get a little bit of extra revenue, we get a lot of extra operating profit. And so 8% additional income represented 38% of additional operating profit. Our company is very, very cash generative. All of the profits really are cash, and because of that, we are actually doing, yet again, what we've done in years before, and that is to pay a dividend which exceeds our earnings. Our earnings are 30 cents a share, and we are paying 32 cents per share. Now, we make all this revenue as a result of the transactions of customs clearing. And what is customs clearing? Well, every time that something gets brought into the country, it has to go through a complicated process of documentation, which these days is all electronic. And if one calculates the duties wrong by 1 cent, even if the transaction is millions of rands, the transaction gets delayed. Sometimes there are even penalties. And one perceives customs clearing the importation of luxury goods that you can see and touch, like video recorders and Blu-ray players and cell phones and so forth. But sometimes there are intangibles, like electricity coming in through pylons. That's also imported, and that also has to be paid. And even things like the fish that is fished out in sea has to be customs cleared. We make much more out of imports than out of exports because the country is more dependent on imports in terms of number of transactions. And going forward, because we have such a large customs market penetration of 60%, which is good, it makes us a solid business, but it's a challenge to grow a business with such a market penetration. We are diversifying into Africa, first of all, this is the over-border trade, and other logistical related activities such as warehousing, local transportation, etc. It's challenging. The world is in a very, very, very troubled state, and it's a little bit difficult to predict the economy. But if the economy of South Africa will hold, then our company will grow. And I believe that although we've seen lots of signs that preoccupy everybody, there are also many positive signs.